Hey guys, we are at Murkwater Construction Site, and today we're going to be repairing the workshop structure as well as building some housing for some raiders here on the back side of the settlement. Now, I use a lot of the same techniques in this build, so I'm going to be jumping around quite a bit, even more than normal, but I think the end result looks really cool. So let's get started, shall we? So the first step is going to be putting walls on the frame here of the workshop structure, and I'm just using the warehouse tab and taking the walls here and just lining them up along the frame and kind of glitching them into the other wall that I already placed down. Just a matter of lining it up, getting it so it doesn't bulge out. Nice. So with the walls in place, the roof will actually just snap on and kind of glitch itself, into the other roof that's already on there. And it works out pretty good, except I do put the wrong roof on this last one here. Not quite the right size. I actually used the one that has the rafter attached to it. That's better. So I actually make a mistake here with these triangle pieces. I should be using place everywhere to just kind of glitch them into place rather than try to snap them. I probably spent 40 minutes just trying to snap these into the right spot, tearing down the walls and tearing down the roof. But if you're going to replicate this, just use place everywhere or the pillar glitch to get them into place. Now with the main structure fleshed out, we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of character by adding one of these torn apart half walls from the warehouse tab. Just kind of gives it a little more junky look. And so here we have some wood pieces, and we're going to go ahead and fill in a bunch of the holes. Some of the ones that we created on purpose, as well as some of the ones that were just kind of naturally there. And it's going to add a little bit more of a kind of repaired, scavenged look to the place. This is actually going to end up being the drug den for this particular raider settlement. Looks pretty good. So here we're going to do the same thing that we just did, only this time we're going to use a full-size wall, and we're going to go ahead and place it in between the existing frame and the wall that we placed from the warehouse tab, just to kind of break up the texture a little bit. Nice. Now that the workshop structure is complete, we can start working on the housing on the opposite side of the settlement. And I figured we'd kind of build up another bombed out bus. I really like building in the buses, and I don't know, it just serves as a really good base of a structure. Just a matter of getting it in the right way and then burying it in the ground a little bit so that it kind of looks like the mud has kind of slumped in to the bus here. Make it feel kind of like a cave a little bit. So now that we have the bus in place, I went ahead and placed a junk fence right up against the bus, and we're going to go ahead and build a small structure on stilts coming off of that junk fence, and that's going to be our first housing unit. Just a matter of getting the boards kind of lined up with the support on the junk fence there, and then just glitching a second board into it. Just a matter of getting it straight so we can snap some boards to these. Looks pretty good. Yeah, I always forget, building outside the bounds, you have to place it inbounds first. There we go. With the floor of that structure down, we're going to go ahead and build a little bridge that's going to take us from this structure to the bus. And of course, going to use one of these curved pieces of plywood. You know how much I love those things. And it'll create a little awning as well for the entryway to the bus. Not much of an awning, but it is the apocalypse. A little rain won't hurt you. So just using place everywhere to get the board lined up, and then we're going to take some of the quarter floor pieces and just make a small bridge. Now it's okay if it glitches into the bus a little bit. We don't want it to be too much, but I think what we end up with here is just fine. Nice. And then we should be able to snap another board directly to that and complete that little bridge. There we go. We're going to go ahead and use the same technique on this side of the junk wall to create another floor for a different shack. And just a matter of lining it up correctly and keeping it from glitching into the roof of the bus there. You can see here I'm just trying to get it so it looks a little realistic, kind of that it's being supported by the junk fence as well as by the roof of the bus. Nice. So now we're going to build the support for the other side of the floor. And again, we're going to use another junk wall here and just getting it close enough to the bus so that it's making contact with the boards, but not too close that it doesn't glitch into the bus. Well, you can't have a shack without a roof. Got to keep a little bit of the rain off of you. Otherwise, what's the point? And they have these cool roofs that come, with the, I believe they're with the windows, floors, and roofs mod that just adds extra boards. I'll go ahead and link all my mods in a Google Doc in the description. But here we go, just lining it up with the junk fences. And this took me a little finagling, but not too bad. You can see there it's still sticking up. I'm going to have to lower that down some. Turns out I lower it down quite a bit. And then drop that down so it's not glitching through the top of the roof. Yeah, and it looks pretty good, except it's a little bit too short. So we're just going to use another junk fence here and just extend the height a little bit. Just a matter of glitching them together so that it doesn't look too off. You just want to get it so the boards kind of meld together a little bit and it still makes contact with the roof. Nice. Here we have some supports so the shack isn't floating there, and these actually come from the Homemaker mod, and you've seen me use this technique before. Just a matter of lining it up and keeping it from glitching through the floor. Yeah, looks pretty good. Now for a small staircase, we're just going to stack some pallets a little haphazardly, and if you remember from my Raider Throne video, each pallet's about one step. Just a matter of stacking them, and then we're going to glitch them underneath this little walkway here, just so it's a little easier to get onto the bus. Nice. Using these shack foundations on stilts, we're going to place a pair of structures, one next to the bus here and the other one over in the trees there. And since they're on stilts, it'll kind of be a little bit of a swampland feel a little bit. It'll really fit the theme of Murkwater. So we're going to need a way to get in between the structures. So we're going to put down some of these, ply boards, and just have to adjust the height of the foundation here just so it makes contact. Nice. Here we go with the second structure, and just a matter of getting the height pretty close. And we're going to use another one of those curved ply boards, and then these junk bridges, I guess they are. And I added a mod recently that will allow them to snap, and I'll go ahead and link that in that same Google Doc we talked about earlier. Just a matter of getting the height right. We don't want the pillars to basically float above the water. So you can see there they are making contact. And then I have to angle this around the tree a little bit, and we can go ahead and use a ply board to make that be a little bit more safe to walk on. Not that it's ever going to be safe to walk on. And you can see here that they will snap, and they also snap to the wood floors. Makes it really convenient. Now we've been using a lot of wood in this build so far, so I'm going to go ahead and change it up with some chain link fences a little bit. And this is actually going to be a small jail cell, so the chain link fence kind of fits. Just a matter of lining it up correctly and getting it so the gate doesn't, clip with the wood. So I messed with this for a good half hour or so, just trying to get these chain link fence poles lined up correctly and also keep them from clipping through the bottom. I was trying to line it up with the posts on the for the shack foundations, and I just couldn't get it right because they're angled a little bit. Just kept finagling with it, moving the junk fences, removing the walls, and I found a much easier way, but I wanted to show you guys my struggle a bit. Turns out all I needed was one of these wooden pillars, and you just hide the pole. Just a matter of lining it up correctly. Nice. Time for the tour. I tried to keep a lot of the existing decoration that was already here, just to kind of keep the vanilla feel to Murkwater. So I left the truck here. I just added a laser turret, and then of course stacked some sandbags around it, like I usually do. And I think it still has a really good wasteland feel to it. You can see that raider there caught a mutant hound, and he's cooking up some dinner. Of course, we have a head on a pike, and you can see the boards mixed in with the corrugated steel there to kind of give it a pieced together kind of look, although there still are some holes, just kind of a little bit worn down. You have a little seating area out here, and of course a little dog house. I showed off that technique over at Starlight, just sinking in one of the shack walls with the roofs attached to kind of create a makeshift dog house. Little mannequin, of course. Raiders do have that odd sense of humor. And here we are in the drug den. You can see have a little seating area there, and some plants for making chems. Wouldn't be a raider settlement without some human remains. A little bit of storage and more plants. And here we have the chemistry station. Of course, there's various chemicals laying about for manufacturing chems. I'm really proud of the chem station here. I placed all of those chems down there using OC Decorator and place everywhere. I think it turned out really well. And in this corner, this is where the workshop was, and I just covered it up using different crates, and then cluttered it up. Wow, really having trouble speaking today. With different junk. Have another seat there. Now that comes from an update to Thematic and Practical that adds some seating for Trash Can Carla. So the settlers won't actually use it, but it does look pretty cool. And that is the workshop structure turned chem den. Let's take a look at the housing we built earlier. I'm really happy with the way this structure turned out. I really like the way it kind of weaves in and out of the existing foliage. It kind of feels like it's just been a part of this place. I'm really happy with that. And you can see here, added some supports for the walkway that leading up to the housing up above. And heading on into the bus, I really like how it kind of feels like it's a cave, especially with the boards just outside the windows there. You can see this guy has some chems laying about. Looks like he's a scavenger with all the clutter laying around. Some scavenging tools there. And I put up this retaining wall in the back of the bus to kind of help hold back some of the dirt, although it does look like some of it's seeping through. Now let's head on out and check out the upstairs. I really like how it kind of goes around this tree. You'll see a little bit more of that when we head over to the jail cell. Now you can see this sleeping area here. It's kind of open to the elements and has some human remains there on that table. It's kind of sparsely decorated, but you know, they are raiders and they don't need much. Here we have a little food prep area with some fish hanging up. And this workbench actually comes from a mod, what is it, Northland Diggers. It has a cool animation. I'm not sure where the raider assigned to this area is, but we'll figure that out. Now heading out this way, we have a little lounge area. And I figured, you know, raiders spend a lot of their time kind of hanging out, so rather than build a whole nother structure here, leave a little sniper perch kind of open to the elements and have a good vantage point for the area around. A little bit of jet laying about. You know, they are raiders after all. You can see there a rifle at the ready, leaning up against the railing there. Of course, there's a human skull. Trophy from an old kill, I suppose. Now let's head along this path around this tree and check out that jail cell. I really like the way the path kind of curves and then it tilts a little bit. Definitely has a good rickety feel to it. Of course, you have a guard standing on watch here, always diligent. And this prisoner is not happy. Wow. Looks like they left her some dog food to eat. Now let's head on back. And you can see the pallet there underneath the curved board. It just wasn't, I couldn't get the height right and still have the pillars touching the water, so I had to put the pallet there. It kind of makes it look a little more junky and thrown together. And then I added another little bent plyboard there as well. Heading back through the fish processing area, you can see a little preview of a build coming later this week. I'm really happy with the way that one turned out as well, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave a like. Drop me a comment below if you have any questions for me about this build or any of my previous builds, or somewhere you'd like to see me build next. Subscribe if you want to see when my next video goes live. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video, and until then, enjoy your time in the Commonwealth.